Hello, my internet and YouTube friends. My name is Forte, and I make things. I define myself as a maker, photographer, and a technician. I love hardware. My full-time job is being a computer science and technology professor at a local college. I also have a passion for making things. I've made things out of wood, metal, plastic, cloth, and leather. I also love putting together electronics kits. I love helping others to learn and to be creative. I volunteer every Thursday at our local Fab Lab. I started back into woodworking when I was crafting in Lord of the Rings, which is an online game that I say I also enjoy playing MMORPGs. I've played many of them. As I sat there crafting a sword, making the blade and the hilt using wood and metal, I had an eureka moment. Hey, I can do this in real life. Can I? So off to the shop I went on my quest, and I made the first 2 dollhouses for our grandkids. I later made various folding picnic tables and end tables. I picked up scrolling using the scroll saw to cut some patterns, even designing a few of my own. After learning from some of the masters, I then bought a small 30 by 30 inch CNC router and made all sorts of fun things. One of my favorites is a Chinese checker board game that I designed and have made several times. This one here. Since the 80s, I haven't been in computers, so transitioning to CNC was a no-brainer, including the last purchase of my 3D printer, which has opened a whole new world for printing and painting all sorts of cool things, including rekindling my love for modeling, which I have had since before I was a teenager. The last thing I made are these Steve Good scroll saw patterns that I cut. They're Star Trek themed. And they're actually morphing into something else, a lamp. They'll have blinking lights in the background, hopefully, to illustrate a star field. I love putting together electronics and electronic circuits, and this project will give me the chance to put some electronics into the mix by using an Arduino. I also have a bunch of 3D printed items, some of which have been painted and some that are still waiting on paint. That one. Of course, I had to go to the dark side with this. And I even made a little Chewbacca. I also have a sonic trowel. How many people do you know that have a sonic trowel or even know what a sonic trowel is? Everybody's got sonic screwdrivers, but this is better. This is a sonic trowel. I'll eventually end up painting it, but for now, this is what I designed and what I made. My favorite tool? Well, there are many. Handsaw, because at first there's all I had in making my first dollhouse, and then I purchased a table saw, which became my most favorite tool, and I was able to cut much straighter lines with it. Shortly after, the bandsaw, because it became my most favorite tool in the shop, because I didn't really want to cut straight lines with it. I could cut circles and I could cut figures. Then I went ahead and figured out that the scroll saw was just as cool and honestly more fun to work with. I then purchased a CNC router too, and that was my favorite tool then. Lately, I've been lost in the world of 3D printing and model making, especially since I purchased a 3D printer. I have to admit though, I can't figure out which of my tools I love the most, since I really enjoy using each one of them. I sit back sometimes and think about each tool that I've used to make a project. You know, they're all my favorite. One of my most favorite projects I made was also one of my first and most watched videos on YouTube. I designed and made a Christmas sleigh, after which I then had to make a few reindeers so the grandkids could take a ride in it. The project has led me to continue to create videos and to start streaming on my woodworking and making escapades on Twitch. You can see some of my early days saved on YouTube from Twitch, hopefully, at least for a while, and you can find me on Twitch at Kilroy79763. YouTube has been a long and ongoing project, but Twitch has been the real challenge, since it is live. Perhaps it too is one of my favorites. The skill I most want to learn is foundry. I want to melt metal, and I want to learn how to use the lost PLA process to make things on the 3D printer and then cast them into aluminum. I've been working towards this goal for a while now, and I soon hope to be able to achieve it. And then, of course, I'll possibly go on to another skill. As a teacher and a maker, I don't think you ever stop learning. Thank you so much for the honor to be part of the Makers Monday series. This has been lots of fun, and like I always say, remember, no matter what you do it just for fun.